is now held annually to honor our seniors for their achievement of high academic standings, their commitment to educational goals, their dedication to personal success, and their notable contribution to excellence during their scholastic career at Alva High School.
I would like to introduce our Board of Education members and other special guests. Please stand as you are introduced. Board members present are Mrs. Karen Kane, Mrs. Jane McDermott, Mr. Larry Parker and his wife, Charlotte, Mr. Shane Hansen, our administrators, Mr. Tim Argo, Superintendent, Mr. Les Potter, High School Principal, our faculty members who are in attendance, all Alva faculty members, please stand and be recognized at this time. If any of the community members who have worked so hard to honor the seniors and make the preparations for this banquet are here, please stand as I recognize them. Tammy Gaddy and Terry Smithy. We would also like to extend a big thank you to Joe Parsons, Maddie Pettis, and Maddie Weissel. I would also like to introduce Mr. Trey Lynn, who is here each year not only to take pictures, but also to attend as a welcome guest.
Each year, our top juniors are asked to help with the senior academic banquet. I would like to introduce those juniors at this time. Lauren Lancaster. Lauren, please introduce your parents.
I brought my parents, Jeff and Kelly Lancaster.
Dawson Manning, please introduce your parents.
I'm here with my father, Mr. David Manning.
I'm Lauren Parker. My parents are Kelly and Lisa Parker. At this time, I would like to ask that each senior stand with his or her guest. Please introduce yourself and your guest. Let us begin with the front table on my right.
I'm Samantha Heron with my mom, Teresa. I'm Jada Ryan with my mom, Shelly Liddell.
I'm Bailey Robin with my mom, Diane, and my father, Jeff.
I'm Dylan McGuire here with my mom, Jackie Sims, and my dad, Tommy Yates.
We're going. Trey Bogdanovich with Kim and Brent Bogdanovich.
James Stewart, my dad, Chad Stewart.
I'm Priscilla Samaniego with my mom, Maria Salazar, and Elias Samaniego.
My name is Zoe Mormon, and I'm here with my mother, Christy Mormon.
I'm Carson, and I'm here with my parents, Rachel and Lisa.
I'm Riley Lee, and I'm here with my parents, Donald and Joya Lee.
I'm Sasha Beckett, and I'm here with my mom, Dr. Mary.
I'm Leah Meyer, and I'm here with my parents, Amber and Steve.
I'm Tyler, I'm here with Paul, Lisa, Paul, Gail, and my dad.
I'm Dylan Wiley, Myers. I'm here with my parents, Lacey and Bruce Lynn. Hello, I'm Fred Rock, and I'm here with my parents, Jody and Jared Rock.
Hi, I'm Jake Irvin. I'm also here with Jared and Jody Rock.
I'm Dawn, and you're my mom, Bethany. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Jared Hayda. Jared Hayda is a 2004 graduate at Alva High School and a 2008 graduate at NWOSU. After receiving a bachelor's degree in biology in 2008, he then became a teacher and a coach in the Alva public school system. Jared taught from 2008 to 2012, at which time he decided to further his education. Jared then attended the University of Oklahoma Health Sciences Center and graduated in 2016 with a doctorate of physical therapy. Upon graduation, Jared then decided to gain further education and began a fellowship program in orthopedic manual physical therapy through the Manual Therapy Institute in Austin, Texas. Jared is now the owner of Ignite Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab in Alva, Oklahoma. He enjoys golfing, hunting, fishing, and spending time with his family and fiancée, Haley.
Thank you, Lauren, for the warm welcome. I want to start today by, let's just congratulate everyone here. You know, you guys are the real reason we're here, so let's give yourself a round of applause. It's always an honor for me to be able to speak to young people. I think that, you know, anytime that you're able to come out into your community and give young people advice or talk to young people, that's what it's all about. So I truly appreciate you having me. Lauren already gave me a nice introduction, but I want to talk about a few things. I think Mrs. Weisfelder asked me to be here because I had a little bit different of a path where I am today. Changed gears a few times. So I was a 2004 graduate of Alva High School. Went through all the same hallways, things that you guys have done. So I kind of know what that's about a little bit. Went to Northwestern in 2008 and became a teacher after I graduated in 2008 through 2012. At that time, you know, teaching is a great profession. I learned a lot during that time. There was just something that was calling me to do something different. And the more that I thought about things, the more that time progressed, I knew that it was something that I needed to do. I was 27 years old at the time. It was a big step to take in life. You know, I had a house that I owned, and you know, just a lot of things that go into making a big commitment like that. But I did it. I felt like I wasn't getting any younger, so I decided I'm going to go back to PT school. You have to remember that at that time, I was a basketball coach as well, and I quit my job and I decided to go back to physical therapy school. The first year, I didn't have all the prerequisites that I needed to get into physical therapy school, so I had to go to Northwestern and retake some classes. Dr. Martin was one of my professors. So I did that and I applied and just thought I was going to be going down this path that was, you know, meant for me. Lo and behold, I didn't get into physical therapy school the first year. So I went back to school, went back to teaching. At that time, they just happened to have a teaching opening at the time. Went back to school. Anyway, long story short, I got into PT school. Didn't give up and attended PT school from 2013 to 2016. At that time, whenever I left, I thought, I went to Tulsa and I thought, this is probably, the sun is probably set on me living in Alva. You know, the physical therapy jobs in Alva were few and far between. But lo and behold, whenever I graduated from PT school, I had an opportunity to come back. Worked at a clinic called Human Performance Center here in town. Started what was called a orthopedic manual physical therapy fellowship, and then was able to just last month purchase my very own clinic called Ignite Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab, and that is a shameless plug for my new business. So anyway, you know, that all, you guys are sitting out there and you're starting this transitional period in your life, and transitional periods like this, whenever you first start school or when you graduate from school or whenever you have your first child, things like that, those are all opportunities that lend people to give you advice. And so that's kind of what I hope to do here today. As you sit there, you might think that, that sounds like a really cool story. And in hindsight it was, but it was a pretty bumpy ride along the way. At one point in time, I remember that I didn't like the way that my career was going, and I set an alert in my phone, and it said, I set it for 6 months out, and it said, quit job. If things are different in 6 months, I'm going to quit my job. And 6 months later, that alert went off, and my life was completely different than it was 6 months before. Then I was engaged. I was well into buying my own business. Life was great. So the lesson there is there are always going to be bumps in life along the way. Have some patience. I'm a big Luke Combs fan. I don't know if any of you guys know who Luke Combs is. One of his song lyrics says, "The clock on the wall will heal it all, even though that ain't how it seems." And I think anytime you're going through something like that, just give it some time. Set an alert on your phone and see what happens in 6 months. So the rest of my speech is titled, Dealing with the Bumps in the Road. There were some things that I got through to get to where I am today. The first thing that I think is important for success is attention to detail. I really think that in the world that we live in today, the little things are important. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Making your bed, get up in the morning and make your bed. I think little things are important. Those types of things separate good from great. And I think we live in a world where sometimes just being good is good enough. So I want to encourage you to find something in your lives that you're the best at. Whether that be golf or playing video games or anything like anything. Just find something and be as good as you possibly can at it. It doesn't have to be important to anybody but you. The second point, or second thing to deal with bumps in the road, is to build a support system. And I can stand here and tell you that I would not be anything that I am today without the support system that I have in place. For me, it is my faith, number one, my family, my friends. I've been working on putting together a new clinic, and my family's been right there by my side helping me pay it. And you're gonna need something to lean on at some time. Things are gonna get rocky. It's just how life goes. So build connections with people, build meaningful connections with people. It's interesting that Karen and I were just talking about how you meet people and you connect with them, and you never know down the road how they might come back into your life again. For example, some of you guys were in my very last class that I taught. You guys were 6th graders, right? It's pretty cool. It's cool how life works out, right? So build connections and make them meaningful connections. Lou Holtz is a legendary football coach at Notre Dame primarily, and he said in a speech that people essentially need 4 things to be happy. They need something to do, people need something to love, people need something to believe in, and something to hope for. And I think that if you really sit back and analyze your life and the way things that have gone for you and where things can go for you, I encourage you to use that as a rubric on how to live your life. Always have something to do, something to love, something to believe in, and something to hope for. The next point is don't make things too complicated. I think we have a tendency to do that. How many of you know what Occam's razor is? Okay, you've heard of Occam's razor. William Occam was a theologian, and he developed a problem-solving strategy. Basically, what Occam's razor says is that if you're given a complex problem, there are multiple solutions to that problem. Usually, the simplest solution is It was the best. So throughout life, I encourage you to not make things too complicated. Things will be complicated enough, but you'll do great. In closing, I want to thank you again for having me. I want to leave you with a quote that I know that some of you that played it for me were in my class. You probably heard it because it's one that I try to leave everywhere that I go. It says, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." So I welcome you into this new transitional time. Some of you are going to go to college. Some of you are going to go off and do other things. It's going to be exciting, and I wish you the best of luck.
All students being honored this evening have pursued the honors track while at Alva High School. This includes taking 4 credits of math, English, science, and history. At this time, we will present our seniors with their awards. Please come forward and receive your award when your name is called. These students have received very highest achievement honors with a 3.8 through 4.0 GPA. Liberty Bird, National Honor Society valedictorian. Cook, National Honor Society valedictorian. National Honor Society valedictorian. Leah Meyer, National Honor Society valedictorian. Priscilla Samaniego, National Honor Society valedictorian. Stone, National Honor Society, valedictorian. Jacob Stewart, National Honor Society, valedictorian. National Honor Society, salutatorian.
You guys knew that was going to be a challenge.
Bogdanovich, National Honor Society. Braylon Brock, National Honor Society. Carson Hinkey, National Honor Society. Zoe Mormon, National Honor Society. Isabella Stout, National Honor Society.
Tucker Mulkey, National Honor Society. Sasha Matthews, National Honor Society. National Honor Society.
has certainly been a pleasure to dine with you, to meet each of you, to hear Mr. Jared Hayda speak, and to honor our academically excellent seniors. We juniors thank you for inviting us to join you on this important evening. Please drive home safely this evening and enjoy the rest of this exciting month.